Dec Conlan, thanks a million for joining us again. Better news to report from day 4.
Hi lads, good to talk to you again. I see you're all excited after rugby. I put the jersey on, Tom. Did you see the jersey?
Yeah, you only put a jersey on when you're away from the country, right? Okay. I'm in my own sitting room. Right?
Yeah, and a trashy that. I can't help it. And there's all these Kiwis walking around, Australians and English guys. And, I wear this with a bit of pride.
Good man, good man.
Right, too right. Bring it on next week. But anyway, let's just say, actually, thank God the World Fly Fishing Championships isn't on next weekend. We mightn't be doing any podcast. We'll see you later, Dec.
Sarah, that's not fair. That's not fair.
But look, a great performance from Team Ireland today.
Absolutely. Delighted with them. We all arrived back at the hotel and they were all on the balcony. I went out and joined them to have a drink or two just to talk about it all and have meetings about what and who's on the next session after someone else today. So there'll be a cross contamination of sessions. So, Dave will talk to Sean will talk to Anne, and they'll share the information to try to hopefully pass it on to the next session, and some of it might benefit because that has worked. No, there was a feel good tonight because it was tough yesterday, and I think we all felt it. No one wanted to talk about it. But we went from dropping all the way down to just clawing it back a bit.
I see that.
And,
clawed back a good bit.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good. And there's some performances here, and to be fair, rock solid.
So, well, we start with Sector 1, actually, Dec, just Brian Larkin. Brian has been solid all the way through. I know Brian a long time. I haven't fished really with Brian. He has represented Ireland in ITFFA a number of times. He's consistent qualifier in ITFFA, and he threw his hat in the ring a few years ago to have a go at Taffy qualification, and he won the national championships. And he's a very good angler. He's just so solid. He whatever piece of water he gets what he can out of it all the time. He kind of doesn't have mass ups or massive downs. In saying that, like I said, he has won national titles, but you just know that if he gets a piece of water and there's fish in it, he's going to fish it. He's just one of them people that's going to fish every section of water, and he just has been solid all week. He's been very good again today for us, and he's come in with another 10th, and he's just pairing away place points off other teams in every single session, and I couldn't be happier than with Brian. He's been fantastic for us.
This was on the Orava deck, just looking there, and he had 22.
Yeah,
22
this was
fish.
on the Orava, and the thing about Brian is he's from the Liffey, which is my club. Like the boys who slagged me in Newbridge that I'm not one of them, and I'm not. I'm from a Tangan. I could probably walk to Newbridge on a good night, but I'm in the Liffey club since a young lad, and the one thing about the Liffey is the great dry fly river. So Brian has the dry fly thing down. He has it down, and he mixed up his whole bag today. He told me more or less half and half on dries and half on nymphs. And there was a discussion at the captain's meeting last night, and these things kind of were discussed whether they ever happened. They were saying, how could we change the World Championships to include different skills? And one of the main topics was put in one section where it's just dry fly. But you make sure that the country that's hosting the event, make sure they have a river that, is conducive to maybe a dry fly event. So you just pick one session and don't allow all the other stuff. It's all about nymphing, but sometimes what's lost in the session, and I explained here about Brian today, Brian took half of his fish on dry flies.
Well, we move on to Sector 2 then, which is the Val Lower.
The Val Lower, and
Sean Dempsey.
I was on that today with Sean in the first half of the morning. Oh, he got into the buffer zone. Tom, you know what the buffer zone is, don't you?
Yeah, it's the end of it, isn't it?
The rule is that you can net the fish in the buffer zone, but you can't net it outside of the buffer zone. And he hooked a fish, a grayling, and he's very good. And it was on 0.08.
and he couldn't see the fish, but the fish took off down the river towards the bridge. And Sean, slowly with the rod down low, inched the fish all the way back in. And it probably took 3 minutes. I'm not exaggerating, because I was looking at my watch. It took 3 minutes. He got the fish to the buffer zone, and when it smelt all the bad water in the buffer zone, it shot back down the river again. And I was standing on high banks and the sun was shining, and I could see this thing. I mean, you're talking about rugby. This was a silver rugby ball of a grayling. And you know the way when lads lose fish? Tom, we go to competitions. Oh, Jesus, I lost a huge one today. Oh, God, I lost a huge one today. But no one ever verifies it. I can verify that Sean Dempsey lost an absolute rugby ball of a grayling today. He brought it back again, and again, just small little pulls to get it back, because he knows this 0.8 tip it's going to break.
Yeah.
He went again, brought him back the third time, and the fish made the third dash, and he was gone. For one split second, he probably could have dived into the buffer zone and minette, but the fish was about half a foot underwater, so you know yourself, he probably wouldn't have missed it.
No.
But that was the start of his session, which was a bit of a pity, because I'd said the fish was 50 centimetres, maybe more.
Oh.
Cracking grayling. I mean, rugby ball. This thing looked like a silver bream. It was that big. But he went on then, and he got 16 fish, and I was watching it. A tough beat. He got 10 in the first half, 6 in the second half, and he worked his water well. He was probably a little bit perplexed, and I would be too, because the beat was so long. It was so long, and the whole beat looked good. So Sean doesn't get put off really, but anyone would, because if you have a beat that you know you can't cover in the hour and a half, it wrecks your head, because you're thinking, there is probably somewhere there that I didn't touch. And it would have got me the extra 3 or 4 fish. But look, he's excellent. He really is. He's a fantastic angler.
Great result.
And,
I see he's well ahead of the French guy there, Julien Dec.
Yeah. And Julien is one of the best ever to hold a fly rod. These are little victories, Tom, that I was talking about. Little victories. He beat him, and he beat the Czech. And he beat Jack Arnott. Jack Arnott's a lovely young lad. Devin Olsen, to be fair to him, stepped down to allow Jack to come in. So that's who he's one of the young American anglers. He's a very good angler. And again, as we said, the big names. Look at David Arquet, still there.
Yeah, he was third
place
with 23 fish. Slovakian win on this one. 31 fish.
Good for them, because they were feeling a bit down, I think, because they just weren't performing. They were in 12th place, and that's a big boost for them, the home nation, to get a win in the session. Finland, as always, no one seems to notice Finland, but they're smelling all around the top table the whole time, the 4 or 5 places, They're very good with the grayling. So there's really not much more to report there.
Will we move on to Sector 3, the Va Upper?
This is Anne's group, She got herself 5 fish today, delighted. People might look and draw certain assumptions, but Anne drew 2 of the worst beats in the river over the last 2 days, covered in mud. Sebastian Dalcour was beside her in one, and the Scottish champion was beside her in the other, and they didn't do much better than her. He had 3 and she had 1, and the Scot had 1 and she had 1. She beat the Scot yesterday, and it was just unfortunate for her. She got 5 fish today, and she finished ahead of a couple of people, and she got us back a couple of place points today. She's loving it. First woman in a World Championships in Ireland or Europeans, and she's absolutely loving it. And she's equipping herself fantastically. I'm delighted with her. And she was delighted today. She had a smile on her face. Great to see, fantastic. It's a good story. It's a great story. By God, she's tough cookie, because these sessions aren't easy. I don't think people realise how hard it is. Maybe you could do a podcast and talk to one of the team members and ask them just how hard it really is. Not to hear it from me now, from years ago, but to hear it from one of the the present guys as to how difficult it really is, you know.
And it's only getting harder, Dec, I'd say, as well, is it? Like in terms
Oh
of the
yeah, as
standard,
each day goes on, but they're running on adrenaline now, and they're actually so excited going into tomorrow, which I don't have to do anything. I had to say very little today. I could. It's a don't mess with it. They were so excited going into tomorrow that, like, a lot of them have something to play for tomorrow. You know, the personal goals. As I said to you, we're not talking about medal now. We're talking about personal goals. That there's little victories can still be won here tomorrow. There's 5 anglers in Ireland trying to do what was probably only done 5 times before, is win an actual session in a World Championships. And 2 of those anglers did it twice. So you're only talking about maybe 1 other angler did it. So, you know, there's a lot to play for. So I don't have to motivate them on that one. You asked a good question on that yesterday, Dara, and I think I covered it.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you look at that group then overall, again, David Chomsky, oh my God, what an angler that guy is. Very modest man. And 35 fish in the 4th session. Sebastian Delcourt, France, and Ruben from Spain.
Yeah, it was really normal service resumed on that session. Czech, French, and Spanish.
Yeah. Some of the Romanian lads are surprising. They're very good. Very good. And they're nice lads. Nice lads. They certainly like to have a jar. They know how to relax and move on to the next stage. Nothing phases them. They're so laid back. They're more laid back than the Irish. Do you believe me? I was telling you, these guys are so laid back. Nothing phases them. Lance Egan had a decent session today, and young Ollie Bassett, the young New Zealander.
Yeah.
And Sean Brooks again, another good performance from Sean. He's solid.
We'll move on to Sector 4.
Yeah, Sector 4, the Huron.
Polish win. New Zealand second. I only heard that tonight. That's a great performance from a New Zealander. Really is. It's out there, like. Fantastic.
Well, great story for us. Great story for you. Great story for David Conlan.
Yeah. David Conlan.
Yeah.
My God, he's solid. Every single
really
session.
Is solid, yeah.
Seventh place today, 26 fish.
I told you already, I fished with him a couple of days. He's technically very good, and he went about it the right way. He went and he got proper tuition. He met the right people and did a bit of fishing with them, and he soaked it all up like a sponge. And he's he's technically very good. He's a very good angler. He's a very confident fella. And he's going into the lake tomorrow, which is a bit of an unknown for him. And if he has any probably doubts or little kinks, but I think a good angler is a good angler, and the boys will have him well briefed what to do tomorrow. But John Buckley...
Was this the best performance, John Buckley's performance in Sector 5? He came in 5th.
5th best placing. I think had Sean Dempsey a 5th?
Oh, it might have been a 5th on the first day, was there?
John's a great lake angler, so he had a couple of bad days with some horrible water, brown water as well, and I think it was great that he could just get off the bloody rivers for a day.
You actually said that on our when we chatted last night, and he really did respond, didn't he?
He did. Well, I'm rooming with John, so like he's a pal of mine, and I just said to him, "Look, John, forget about the rivers. This is your baby. This is what you do." And John doesn't lack confidence anyway, but he, you know, we're all human. You could see he was suffering a bit, and he got back at it. And I'd say if John gets a half decent beat tomorrow, now he'll catch fish, you know, because your confidence can get shot, as I found that I was in the championship, and it does affect you.
Like, it's the same with any sporting event, and like, you know, how the big teams go on. And, you know, it's the same in any sport. And if your confidence gets shot, sometimes you need something, and the change has helped him. And now, you know, as you said, John will have confidence back with them.
Yeah, it's like bringing in a sub. John's got a shot of adrenaline now, and he's good.
Yeah.
to go again tomorrow. You take a good session coming into your last session any day of the week. We got back up there with Scotland, and then we're back up there in 14th. I wanted a top 10 finish, but try and keep there or keep higher than we are now. And
we look at the teams now.
The team. So France
five,
have frog leaped again. Pardon the pun, Spain. But they have built up a lead that's a bit scary for Spain. The Spanish lads were crushed tonight when the table came out. I was talking to them before they went into dinner, and they were pretty crushed. They just didn't. They said they need a miracle to retrieve it, because it is, as you said, Tom, it's the consistency of these anglers. There has been a few strange jumps from between France and Spain, but can you see another jump like that?
23 points. That's very unlikely that's going to happen.
It's not happening. I don't think it's happening. It's happening if a Frenchman wins the lake and the Spaniard blanks. And then it becomes a straight shootout in the river sessions.
Or if a Spanish guy wins the lakes and a Frenchman gets a blank.
Yes, sorry, I got that wrong way. Right? Yeah. Spanish man wins the lake session, Frenchman blanks, and then it becomes a straight shootout in the river sessions.
Yeah.
Again, I think the Czech Republic have nailed down third place. Can't see Italy overturning them.
Yeah, it's a 20-point difference there.
But look at Australia. They just keep climbing. They've done extremely well.
There's a tight margin there between 5th, 6th, and 7th. But that 23 points is and I don't think the Czech Republic will catch. Czech Republic are 23 points behind Spain. So
no, I think what you're looking at there is the gold, silver, and bronze as it stands. There's no one crashing that party.
So, but moving to matters closer to home, we had a great jump today. So from 19th up to 14th.
Yeah. And we're 303 place points. So I think now, realistically, what we're looking at is, can we just hold off Scotland, New Zealand, Romania, Slovenia?
If it goes badly tomorrow, we could end up slipping back down to kind of 18th,
Well, yeah, looking how close the points are, you could definitely, you're looking at 18th or 19th. If it goes badly tomorrow.
The USA aren't catchable, are they?
I don't think so.
22 points.
I find it, no. Now, they've struggled on the lake.
Yeah.
But we're putting in, Dave's going in the lake, but Dave is going to be well schooled by Buckley, so I'm not getting panicky about that. I think he has I still think, and Dave has a lot to fish for. It's in his interest to have listened to John, which I've no doubt he did, and it's in his interest to see this out. He's been probably so solid in 4 sessions, and what makes a good World Championship performance is this solidity over 5 sessions. That's one of the hardest things to do. Most of his fish championships were, you have 1 or 2, bad ones, and then you have 2 or 3 good ones. But he has been pretty solid for 4 of them, and he's just got to do 1 more.
Yeah,
1 more. That kind of those kind of performance will help us stay where we are.
But you said earlier, just the enthusiasm is there, the energy is there for the final day. They're up for it.
Yeah. But the fact that they did so well today, they're not going to crawl into tomorrow. They're chomping. They're all in bed. They're now asleep, every one of them. Been in bed asleep since 10 o'clock. In their own heads, I haven't had to say to go to bed, lads. They're not time flies or anything. They're in bed because they've 1 session left and they want to be fresh. I think that's the whole thing. People have different styles of captaincy. I have asked them to talk to team meetings. Sometimes can turn into nonsense. My thing was to steer them, and that they didn't fight and they all got on well, and they've all gotten on really well. They're all having fun and they're enjoying it.
And you have to find a fine balance between enjoying it and taking it serious, and they've done that. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know, but I think it's kind of working, you know.
Yep.
And I hope tomorrow that they do as well today. And if they do, I can't say anything. They've put everything in.
While we're on it there, just to wrap up, quick one on the individual standings there, Dec.
Well, Pierre's still there. I mean, he plummeted, as you said today, into the third position.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, he's only a point ahead of Gregoire and David Arquet.
It's actually very interesting there, the top 4 places. They can all win it. No problem.
Tom Yarman he was in bed probably. I'd say he slept in the bus on the way home and then went straight to bed.
Yeah.
So they could get up maybe at 5 o'clock in the morning so fresh, because he has put himself in a fantastic position.
He really has. So what you have is you have Pierre Kuntz leading on 6 place points. Gregoire is next on 7. Then you have David Arquet, who mentioned a hell of a lot, on 8, and Tom Jarman on 8.
Yes. And to explain to the listeners, the place points, if you come last, you get 28 place points.
Yeah.
If you come 14th, you get 14 place points. So when you look at someone with 6 place points after 4 sessions,
yeah,
it gives you an understanding of how good they are and how consistent they are over each session. And those 4 have been outstanding, regardless of what happens tomorrow, up to now.
Yeah.
And we have David Conlan with 30 place points, but his 30 place points, you can look at 17, 18, 19, and 20, and 21, and 22, and 23. But David is also breathing down 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, and 11th neck. So he's in touching distance of 10th. Sean came off the river today, and I know Sean very well. We fish together from time to time. I know him a long time. Fantastic character. And Sean is 16 fishing. He's disappointed. That's what I love. Like, if you're a manager, that's what you love about. Like a guy that kicks 7 pints, he's giving out because he didn't kick 10. That's Sean Dempsey. If he got 220, he'd be wondering why he couldn't kick the extra 7 pints, why he kicked 7 wides. That's the kind of angler he is. But no, I have no fear for them, Tom. I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted with them. Before it even finishes tomorrow, I couldn't say any more about them. They've been fantastic. If my team wasn't fantastic, you'd hear it in my voice.
Well, I'm looking forward to the final days. See how we get on, and like you said, it's the French really are going to take home the gold. The individual, I think, is where the battles will be interesting tomorrow, because there's a lot of potential movement in the final day for that.
The whole Tom Yarman, Willie or Willie not.
Dec, thanks a million for joining us. The marathon, the marathon's nearly over. You've hit the 20-mile mark. You've hit the wall. You're nearly there, nearly into the final stretch tomorrow.
We're in a lovely hotel here. We've been well looked after. I'm not going to complain.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Living the dream is right. No, fair play to you, Dec.
Thanks, Dec.